What's going on, metalheads? Are you a headbanger? Well, if you are a headbanger, stay tuned because I'm going to go through some of my rare vinyls and I'm going to show you some rare shit and not so rare shit for your real big time headbangers. You probably know who this is. This is Raven, and this is All For One, my personal favorite Raven album. I highly recommend this shit. If you haven't heard this shit, go online, YouTube this shit, look for the song Mind Over Metal or Take Control. Listen to this shit. This is some awesome metal. These guys are fucking with Wacko on drums. The guy was playing with a fucking football helmet. Good shit. I highly recommend some fucking Raven. Next we have some Fifth Angel. Now this band is not like heavy. They're a little poppy, but it's some good heavy, commercial type shit. I don't know what this is in here. Oh, it's some kind of merchandise thing. Gee, I wonder if I can still order from this. It's like from the 80s and shit. This is their first album. I know a lot of people out there that do own this album are probably looking at it going, gee, what album is that? No, this is the first album. You have this. This is the same one you have if you do own this. This is just a rare cover that I don't know how the fuck I ended up with it. I'm glad I got it. Good album. Next is Omen. There's a very obscure band, but I highly recommend if you ever see this shit. I believe they do have more albums, which I've been looking for, but haven't had no luck. But this is a really good album. Omen. Warning, I don't even know the name of the album. Warning of Danger. That's right. Yeah, it's been a while since I've heard it, but it's some good shit. Really good stuff. Next, one of Canadian's finest bands, Exciter. Now, this band fucking rules. This album, Violence and Force, is my personal favorite, along with, probably I have it here, I won't give it away yet. You'll see it when I pull it out. But anyway, if you like fucking Motorhead-ish type shit, this is the stuff to look for. Exciter. To me, they're like the Canadian Motorhead, except the guy didn't sound like Lemmy at all. Now we have Obsession. Any album with this name, like this band, period, they never released a bad album. They only have like 4 or 5 out. This is their first EP. It's called Martial Law. It fucking rules. The Martial Law is the Martial Amp. Great shit. Mike Becerra on drums, who went out with Loudness, Killing Machine, and Seven Witches, and a couple other bands I can't remember. But I highly recommend some Obsession. This is Project Driver, which was initially supposed to be Driver with Tony McAlpine, Rudy Sarzo, Tommy Aldridge, and Rob Rock. I believe this was initially signed to a major label, and they heard it, they thought it sucked, so Shrapnel put it out. I recommend it if you like the shredding, check it out. Now, I'm sure some of you heard of this band. This is Steeler. This is the first band with Yngwie J. Malmsteen and Ron Keel, and this guy, Mark Edwards, who went on to play in Lion, I believe, and Rick Fox, who went on to fight with me on the internet. Long story short, he's a dick. Next album, Malice, License to Kill. Now this is a great fucking band. As far as I know, they only released 2 albums. This is their second album. They're very Judas Priest. If you like Priest, this is a great Judas Priest type band. They're fucking awesome. Next, Unveiling the Wicked, Exciter, where I was talking before, and I was saying what their best album was. Well, it's not this one. I'm sorry. Unveiling the Wicked is not a bad album, but it's not as good as Violence and Force, and the one that I'll dig up sometime soon. If you like the shredding, the fucking ear-splitting, kick you in the balls, Hitler-style type guitar, I highly recommend some Racer X with Paul Gilbert and Jeff Martin on vocals. Anybody that's into guitars probably owns this shit or is aware of Paul Gilbert. The guy's a fucking genius as far as ripping a guitar in half. My personal favorite from Racer X. Again, another album from Obsession, who I told you before. This is their second album. That was their EP. This is Scarred for Life, their second best. Their best I don't have on vinyl, unfortunately. It's called Methods to Madness. Look for that one. But this one rules as well. Great fucking metal, old school shit. Trouble. Now, if you like doomy shit, I highly recommend this band, Trouble. This is one of the earlier ones. As far as my favorite is Psalm. I don't have it on vinyl. I do have it on CD. I recommend, if you like doomy shit, to look into some Trouble. Fate's Warning. Fate's Warning, this is early Fate's Warning with John Arch on vocals. This is the Fate's Warning I prefer, even though I really do love No Exit with Ray Alder. But I highly recommend this and Night of the Brocken. Tokyo Blade. Alright, this is some good old school metal shit. This is their second album. Their first album fucking rules as well. Look into some fucking Tokyo Blade if you like some new wave of British heavy metal sounding shit. I don't know how this got into. This is just a cheap promotion to one of my favorite movies of all time, Phantom of the Paradise. It's very corny and everything. It's got some good classic rock shit on it. Look into it if you want a good laugh. Check that movie out. In my opinion, the greatest guitar solo ever caught on tape is on this album right here. It's Frank Marino, The Power of Rock and Roll. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. Punch up Ain't Dead Yet from Frank Marino and listen to the guitar work on that. I know your favorite guitar player sucks compared to what you'll hear on that. Alright, if you're into like the Rob Zombie type shit, I mean, even though this is kind of like Rob Zombie 20 years before Rob Zombie, and better than Rob Zombie in my opinion, this is Zodiac Mindwarp and The Love Reaction. This album kicks ass. It's very rock and roll, but it's funny and it kicks ass. I love it. Icon! Now this is a great album from 1984, I believe. Total metal, 80s metal, no compromises type of fucking, ooh, just pounding your fucking face in on your knees, or on your feet, I'm sorry, under the gun. Great sounding album, great production for this time. Highly recommend some Icon, the self-titled. The other ones, I know a lot of people like Night of the Crime and stuff like that. Fuck all that shit. This is the only one that matters to me. Riot. Now this band, and this has gone through a little problem here, but this is one of my favorite albums. Not really so much metal, more hard rock. Swords and Tequila, Outlaw, Feel the Same, Don't Hold Back, Flashbacks, No Lies. Great classic 80s album. Highly recommend. Check this out. They also have an album that they brought out in 1988 called Thundersteel, which is completely different. Very thrash. This one's very rock and roll, heavy rock and roll. Recommend you some Riot. And as far as Riot's mascot, worst mascot ever. What is that, like a little seal and shit? It's like, it would be a much cooler mascot if there was a guy standing over it with a bat. Premonition. Now this band are local boys, believe it or not. Good friend, this guy's a great friend of mine, Tattoo Frank. They released a bunch of albums. This is the best of Premonition on vinyl. Very rare. I'm so glad that Frank saved me a copy. Not too many of these made. He gave this to me personally. I love Tattoo Frank. He's a metal brother of mine, and he's a huge inspiration to me. You see me when I act retarded on stage? This guy right here. Huge inspiration to me. We Are Metal. Got to check out that song. I'm sure it's up on YouTube. Great band that I would always see at the Culture Room, and I worship Premonition. I wish they would get back together. Personally, probably my favorite obscure band of all time, Warrior. Now this band, they only released one album in 1985, Fighting for the Earth. I think this album is solid from beginning to end. It'll fuck you up. They did reunite like 10-15 years later, released a couple more albums, but this album is just too good. I think it was Ancient Future and another one after it that weren't bad, but they were nothing like this. This album, highly recommend. They do have a video for Fighting for the Earth that you can check out on YouTube. Awesome shit. Now this is just a rare vinyl. I'm just gonna, there's Fifth Angel I talked about earlier, but this band right here, Sanctuary, is probably my favorite band to ever come out of Canada. No, I'm sorry, Seattle. Before the grunge movement. They went on to form Nevermore, the singer and the bass player. They only released 2 albums. I heard they got back together, so hopefully they'll make some new shit. Refuge Denied, which was produced by Dave Mustaine from Megadeth. Into the Mirror Black. Both amazing, but yet very different albums. I highly recommend some fucking Sanctuary. Malice, this is their first album. Very Judas Priest. Just as good, if not better, than the one I showed you earlier. I love Malice. They fucking rule. Armored Saint, my favorite underrated band of all time. You see they autographed my thing. This is the guy that went on to join Anthrax, and a lot of people do prefer John Bush and Anthrax, and Armored Saint is one of my favorite bands, but I have to admit he's better in Armored Saint than Anthrax. I prefer him in this band, and Anthrax can keep Joey Belladonna, which I have no problem with, but Armored Saint, this is their best album right here, Delirious Nomad, but you cannot go wrong with any Armored Saint album. They're all fucking great. Now this is the fucking album I was talking about. This is the fucking shit. Alright, which we might be able to hang out. No, because Kevin's got to go home. Alright, well, alright.
Boogalard.
Yeah, it's a Boogalard. A Boogalard, another great